everyone, my name is Nicola. I am simply a stitcher. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, it's great to have you, and if you are returning, thank you for coming and spending some more time with me today. Sorry, lots of glare this morning. So today I'm going to do a stitch with me, and I will be working on this lovely piece. This is Evelina. It is by Anita Inverarity, charted and kitted by Geckorouge. I'm stitching this on some 28 count 1/1 full cross. Don't know why I ended up with 28 count. Complete mystery, but it is what it is. So I'm going to do some work on her today. I'm going to be working in this section here, so around the yoke of her dress. We're going to see how far we can get. So I've got about an hour and a half of stitchy time. Going to go through some of your wonderful comments. So if you have left me a comment this week, thank you so much. And this is your reminder. If you have not subscribed, it is free to do so. Please do press that button. There are still a lot of you who watch my videos who are not subscribed. Please leave this video a like and also add me a comment down below. I love reading your comments and going through them on this video. For me, if you take the time to leave me a comment, then I should be taking the time to reply to you. So yeah, that is my plan for today. So yeah, as I said, a bit of a stitch with me. We're going to have about an hour and a half and go through these comments and see how much we get done. So as I film this, it is Wednesday. I know it goes out on a Saturday, but I film it on a Wednesday. Hannah and I are leaving later today for a few days away. Hannah is having a conniption because I haven't packed yet. I mean, how hard is it to put some clean knickers in a bag? Hannah's been packed since sort of Friday, Saturday. But for me, I always take my time. I can be packed 5 minutes before I go and still have everything I need. I've learnt the art over the years of travelling light. So yeah. What else is it to say this morning? Nothing much. Obviously I'm on annual leave from work. So Monday and yesterday I did lots of stitching and thoroughly enjoyed it too. There'd be something wrong if I wasn't enjoying my stitching. What was it that you said yesterday? The day I don't enjoy my stitching is the day I put it down, and that'll never happen. There you go. Andy knows me too well. Tweezers, need to have a look at this stitch. That's it. Yeah. One that was not as secure as I would have liked. Okay. off the screen there. Doing well. There's a bit of confetti in this bit, so there will be lots of colour changes today, I would say. So we're going to crack in on some comments and see how many we get through. So we're going to start off with the comments on Flosstube 29. Magpie having a screech outside. Where Lauren returned after abandoning me the week before. She was back. Enid is my first commenter. Thank you, Enid. Itching for stitching. And she leaves me a wave. Thank you, Enid. And then the next one is from Michelle L, who says, hey, hello, Lauren. So thank you, ladies. Enid has a Flosstube channel, Itching for Stitching. If you like sampler and small stitching, her channel is great to go and have a look at. So give her your support. She is one of the ladies who regularly supports me. So yeah, it's nice to give her that support back. Ow. It's good, crack my knuckle on the table. Good start to the day, isn't it? Scrolling up to the next comment is from Jane22. Yes, she says we missed her. Fantastic progress on the works you showed. Thank you, Jane. Just do that one. Yes, I did. That one is also done. Enjoy seeing the stitching shelf progress as mine is going so slowly. Enjoy your stitching as much as I enjoy seeing your work. Yeah, the stitching shelf is definitely a long-term project. And you know, everybody stitches. It's like I've said before, you know, certainly when I hosted Symphony Sal in March, May, everybody stitches in such a different way. So, you know, if you gave, you know, 10 of us the same pattern, we all approach it very differently. And it's the same with Stitching Shelf. I'm in a Stitching Shelf Stitch Along group on Facebook. And with that, everybody approaches it differently. We've got some top starters, some bottom starters. I'm doing it literally row by row, going down the thing. Some, you know, but everybody's working it differently. Yeah, it just goes to show that although, you know, it's sort of the same pattern, for a lot of people, the way they interpret that pattern and the way they stitch that pattern can be very different. And then the next one is another lady, well, lots of you are regular supporters, but this lady is also a floss tuber. It's Kelly from Kelly's Quilts Plus. Hi again, Lauren. Another great floss tube Nicola, and the last one for July. Wow, the month has gone fast. It certainly has. The whole year has gone fast, really. I enjoyed your stitch with me with Magpie. It's looking really good now. Yep, I'm beginning to get into Magpie now. A bit like it with She Sleeps. I struggled with She Sleeps when I first stitched her. Didn't look forward to picking it up, if I'm honest. But as I approached, you know, as I got to, you know, a quarter, half, and you know, way through and so on, I just got more and more into She Sleeps. Now it's beginning to be the same with Magpie. The more I stitch it, the more I'm enjoying it. Those birds having a right argument, aren't they? It's like they're in a crow off. Okay. Patricia Pulling says, hey Lauren, glad you're back. Nicola, your work is inspiring. Keep it up. No intention of stopping, Patricia. Excuse me. Especially not when I worked out. I have still got, you know, coming up to 5.3 million stitches still to do. I had no plans to stop. I do love me some cross stitching. But definitely next year I'm going to be progressing pieces differently. Potentially on most of my projects increase the amount of rotation stitches. And yeah, get some going. Wendy Stitching says, awesome progress, nice to see Lauren. Yeah, I think Lauren is quite enjoying jumping in on my floss tubes now. Although sometimes she's not around. This week's she was still upstairs, and didn't come down until I'd almost finished, and looked at herself in the camera and was like, I haven't got my glasses on, I look a bit weird, and nipped up and got them. Yeah. Okay, what number is that? Kathy 5839 says, great to catch up. Thank you, Kathy. Oh dear. And then Celia say leaves me some emojis. So a heart, a cotton reel, a needle, and a kitty cat. Thank you, Celia. So as I've said before, if you're considering leaving a comment, even an emoji, it all helps. Stick a like on the video, leave me an emoji, if not a full comment. And yeah, the YouTube algorithm works in a funny way. The more interactions a video gets, the more likely it is to be shown in people's feed. Suggested videos. I've had a bit of I've had some creators show up in my suggested videos who I've not watched in over a year. And even then, you know, last year I, you know, watched a video about, say, for example, a particular subject, and I put in a search for it, and it's about this time last year. So, you know, YouTube's weird. Okay, so focus on stitching and forgetting I'm doing comments. Hannah Cairns says, great stitching. Thank you, Hannah. And then, excuse me, our lovely Carla over in Portugal. Carla leaves me a heart, a kitty cat, and a smiley face. Thank you, Carla. Leslie, oh, let me just move this camera a little bit because it's not picking up everything. There we go. Leslie says, thanks for a great video. It was nice to see Lauren too in a bit, both of you. Thank you, Leslie. That has become Lauren. That is now sort of Lauren's catchphrase when I round off my videos and I say my goodbyes. Lauren says, in a bit. Teen speak. She's funny. She really is. Okay. Yeah, I think there's a fair bit of confetti in this. Tracy Del Camp says, good to stitch with you. Thank you, Tracy. Hope you're enjoying the videos. And Linda Loves to Stitch says, fantastic progress on your whips, loving your stitching shelf very much. Lauren is becoming a very beautiful young lady. Yep, she certainly is. She can be a heartbreaker, she really is. I'm so proud of her for a multitude. I'm proud of all of my girls, but I'm proud of Lauren recently for a multitude of reasons. Not least taking control of her weight, because she was getting a little bit, she was so comfortable, and you know, she did a tremendous job with getting into that prom dress, and I bet she'd slither into it now after losing another, you know, half a stone since the prom. Oh dear. Oh, sorry, Andy, can you just grab me some tissue, please? I've just kind of sneezed out. It snuck up on me, that one. Thank you. I read a thing the other day that said sneezing is your body's way of getting rid of irritants. If only it worked for everything. There's some irritants that sneezing can't get rid of. Normally those are the walking, talking variety of irritant, but there we go. Okay. Let's get rid of these ones. Number 49. Karen Ennis leaves me some hearts. Thank you, Karen. As does Anne-Marie Borman and Daphne, also on Flosstube 29. So thank you very much indeed, ladies. to snip this thread. Tweezers are another fantastic tool in the stitchy arsenal. Sometimes when a thread end is too short to grip, a pair of tweezers, hold them with that and then snip it off. If it's too long for me to pull through the back and leave hanging, I'll get my tweezers and I'll snip it off at the front. Anna Knowles says, hello Nicola and Lauren, a great update, love all your whips. Thank you, Anna. So I've just done it again, it's just left, it didn't snip off properly, that thread. I'm getting ready to swap up for me birthday scissors, that's where it is. These scissors are beginning to dull a little bit because they've been used for other stuff apart from thread. Where was I? Hello Nicola and Lauren, great love update, love all your whips. I'm enjoying your Facebook group and joined the August monthly stitch along for the first time. That's fantastic. So Facebook group is there, it is open, there is a link in the description box below. A couple of joining questions. If it is not evident that you are a stitcher, you will be deleted. So please, thank you my love, please answer the joining questions. The group is a supportive space. We have a monthly stitch along. It's a no drama zone. We can ask one another questions and share things within that group. So yeah. We are a heavy bunch of enablers as well. So, and of course, when I do the live stream, I post the Sew and Tell thread on the live stream. So you can also share your whip, and I will show it on Sew and Tell. And there's usually somebody at least once every Sew and Tell running to other websites and their PayPal account. We are definitely a heavy bunch of enablers. So if that sounds like your sort of thing, stitching, chatting, a stitchy, drama-free stitchy space, go and join. 600 people can't be wrong. I made 600 members in there this week, which I'm delighted about. And, the stitch-alongs are open to all. And even if you don't use Facebook, you can still join me because I talk about them on my Flosstubes. So you can still join us. I have had people in the past who've sent me emails with progress and things, which is lovely. So don't feel that it is just confined to the Facebook group, because it's absolutely not. And Patricia Loyalaw leaves me some hearts, as does Erin's Makes. Thank you very much, ladies. It's always great to have that interaction. Okay. There's a fair amount of confetti in this. So I'll be doing lots and lots of colour changes this video, I think. Although there is a patch of colour coming up, which will be nice. Sandy says, wow, needles on fire, a fantastic amount of stitches. Pleased to hear that Lauren's weight loss wasn't too bad. Stop looking at the cheesecake section. Well, I haven't this week, so I've been good so far. I was tempted last night. I did treat myself to an ice cream, and you know, I still, it's really weird. I still look at an ice cream and my teeth go sensitive, but I don't have any teeth. And it's really nice that I can have cold drinks and ice cream and things and not have the tooth sensitivity that I had 6 months ago. Not that I would have been eating ice cream 6 months ago, but you know what I'm saying. My mind still hasn't caught up to the fact that I can eat these things and drink these drinks without fear. So, yeah. I'm sure I'll get there, though. All your whips are looking amazing, she says. Thanks for sharing. Take care. Happy stitching. Thank you, Sandy. Yeah. I'm just, I mean, I know I've got a lot of whips, a lot of stitches, you know, to be stitched. But everything I've got, I'm just enjoying so much. It's definitely, let's put those ones in first. It's definitely, for me, stitching is therapy. It's everything I want and more. And I'm glad I made the choices of the pieces that I'm currently doing. They all go well. They all work well. There we go. I'm going to have a look at the next one. Sorry to keep getting stuck into this stitching, that's what it is. The next one is also from Sandy on Magpie. The Stitch With Me that I did. Thanks for the company, lovely Stitch With Me. You're so right about Ozzy. I didn't care much for his music, but I admired the man he was, and that he wasn't afraid to be an individual. A sad loss. I loved Connie Francis's music. Another sad loss. I hope things are settling down for you. Take care. Happy stitching. Thank you, Sandy. Yes, I was quite disgusted with some of the things and comments that I read online about Ozzy Osbourne, and I did get on my soapbox about it a little bit. You're quite right there. He wasn't afraid of being an individual, and I think, you know, even Ozzy knew that he would only be remembered for the stuff that he did that was outrageous, rather than, you know, Ozzy Osbourne was something of a musical pioneer. I mean, I remember listening, my dad playing Black Sabbath music when I was a kid. I grew up with Paranoid. My dad loved it. And you know, it's music that sticks in your mind. And yes, okay, we all know about the Alamo and him having a tiddle up the side of the Alamo, and we all know about the bat's head and, you know, all the rest of it. But, you know, he didn't, I don't know how true it was, because obviously I wasn't there, but in subsequent interviews, he's like, well, I didn't know. I thought it was a stuffed animal. And I think it was a classic case of being caught up in the moment, really, more than anything. So, yes, we all remember things like that, but he was a musical pioneer. And he put Birmingham on the map. I mean, let's face it. You know, there are places in the UK, the major cities in the UK have, you know, a musical heritage. London, for example, you know, the Blitz Kids, the 80s, the New Wave, New Romantics movement was very much a London thing. Sheffield had people like the Human League and Def Leppard come out of Sheffield. Manchester, you had Oasis, you know, and the birth of Britpop. Then, you know, Birmingham, you had Duran Duran and Ozzy Osbourne. So, you know, he put Birmingham on the map for his music. And, you know, I mean, you can't knock him for that. You know, Birmingham is a city that at the moment is experiencing a lot of problems. The council, it's literally bankrupt. You know, they're having issues with residents there having problems with just even getting their bins collected. And obviously they had Ozzy Osbourne's funeral parade through Birmingham, because there is a bridge, Black Sabbath Bridge, I think it's called. And Sharon Osbourne paid for the streets to be closed. You know, so even he didn't expect it, or Sharon didn't expect it for free. She knew she was going to have to pay, and that's what she did. So, you know, they didn't, you know, take the proverbial. They did what they should have done, and quite right too. Connie Francis, yes, I enjoyed Connie Francis music. I was watching a program. One of the series that I watch on YouTube is the one about its autopsy, which is about the deaths of, looking into the deaths of celebrities. And Connie Francis appeared on a documentary about one of them. I can't even remember who it was. on the week, it was released on YouTube in the week that she died. And Connie Francis had had her own health problems in the last few years. She'd had a stroke and what have you as well. Was it Dick Clark? Might have been Dick Clark. Can't remember. But I did watch one yesterday about Billy Mays in OxyClean Pitchman. That was quite interesting. But anyway, I digress as ever. I always find it interesting, these people about, you know, these programs that they can tell you about how somebody died based on how they lived, which I always find fascinating. But there we go. I hope things are settling down for you. She says, thanks for sharing, take care, happy stitching. It'll be a while, I think, before things are settling, but hopefully we're getting there. It's, you know, just going to involve some hard work from us over the next upcoming weeks and months, but we'll get there. Camera quake. Dean going to work next door. Here is garage clattering down. Thank you for answering my question, she also says on Magpie. I know you always say a piece tells you how to stitch it, but do you have a favourite method of stitching? That's a really good question. I don't think I do, actually, because I just pick up the piece and fall into it however it's being stitched, if I'm honest. Like this one, for example, there's no rigid sort of way. I'm just, you know, kind of filling in open stitches. I like order and routine of parking, but I also like the freedom of, you know, stitching like this. So really, I don't think I do have a preference. I like to have a mix between block stitching and confetti. So, you know, if a piece has got a heavy confetti section, I might, you know, move to a bit where there's some block stitching just to get a little bit of progress, because the only thing that does sort of frustrate me is when I get a heavy confetti part and it slows down the progress. That starts to irritate me a little bit. But no, I don't think I do. I have to say that I'm doing the wedding sampler for my friend on some 14 count. I am loving stitching on 14 count right now. It's the only piece I've got on 14 count, and I did 1100 stitches in it yesterday on Tuesday, and it just seemed, because I wanted to obviously get ahead knowing I'm away for a few days, and it just seemed to fly by. All of a sudden, bam, there's 1100 stitches in it. I was like, wow, where did that come from? Andy said to me at the end of last night, he says, have you done a lot of stitching today? I went, oh yeah, I've done 2000. And he went, wow, that's a lot. And I went, well, yeah, actually it is for Tuesday, because I'd done my Sailing Fairy rotation stitches as well, because Friday, Saturday, I'm not at home. So I figured I'd get it out of the way. And then the next few days, I will be focused on my Christmas cat while I'm away. Not that I envisage having an awful lot of time, but the time I do have, because Hannah will want to spend some time in the room, I will spend with Christmas cat. It's nice now. I've got a patch here of block stitching, and which is perfect because I've just been doing, you know, 45 minutes or so of confetti. So having some block stitching will get me some progress, which works perfectly for me. And Danny Kashi leaves me a heart comment back on another magpie video, one of my alternative ones, so thank you very, very much. And Kashi is catching up on her YouTube videos at the moment. Our lovely Laura over there in New Zealand. Laura says, great stitching as always. Sad to hear about your stepdad. Hopefully he comes right. Keep stitching and stay positive. He is absolutely fine now. In the words of Hannah, we know he's better because he's swearing at the television again. He came here on Sunday for his Sunday dinner last week. He'll be here Sunday this week. And he was his chipper, chirpy self. Live stream Wednesday last week. Karen Ennis leaves me some hearts. Thank you, Karen. Oh dear. Having a drink. Thirsty work, all this talking. Oh. And then Linda Fabrizio says on my Flosstube, great progress. Can I ask where you purchased your bigger clips? You certainly can. I'm assuming that you mean these ones. They're about 2 inches long. I got them from Amazon. I got a box which had these ones, and it also had 2 styles of this one as well, the smaller version. I got them from Amazon. I think they're about £10, and I got about 50 or 60 clips. So, and they came in a box, and the box I now use as my travel carry case for my tablet, which is very handy. So yeah, Amazon it is. Like I said, I think they were about £10 for the box, something like that. But I've ended up with a tin full of clips, which is nice, because I usually have at least 4 or 5 projects that are covered in clips. And they are obviously nice and soft, and they don't leave any marks on the fabric or anything like that. You can get them from haberdashers as well. I've seen them in, like, in the UK we have a shop called Boys. I've seen them in there, but they're a lot more expensive than the Amazon ones. The first set I got, believe it or not, I actually got them from an Aldi. I got a box with about 10 clips in it from Aldi. They're very useful, not only just for crafting stuff, but they're useful for open packets in the kitchen as well. I often find them in the pantry, so. Back on Flosstube 25, where I showed an FFO, which would have been She Sleeps, I would think. Kashi says, wow, that is some serious amount of stitches made absolutely amazing. Thank you for another lovely Flosstube. Pretty sure 25 was an FFO with She Sleeps. It is my only FFO so far this year. And on live stream Wednesday, Patricia Loira Law leaves me some hearts. Thank you very much. Oh, I think I've numbered my floss tubes incorrectly, because I've got another 29 here, and it's a different one, so I'll have to check out the numbers. Nina Hobby Site says, yes, you can be very proud of your floss tube. It's a lot of work. It certainly is. It's happy work, though. I do enjoy doing it. I spend a lot of time on it. But yeah, you're right, it is a lot of work. I love to watch your floss tube. I'm not a fan of painting fairy cross stitch. Thank you, Nina, for letting me know the following. So Nina says he uses a lot of artwork from the cross stitch studio, Hayde and Country Cottage Needlework, so he has no copyright. So I haven't really myself looked at the cross stitch patterns. I get lots of emails about the frames and the stands, but I will of course be investigating them further, and if I do feel that they don't align where copyright is concerned, then I will not be doing any sort of partnership with Painting Fairy. I would sooner keep on the right path, shall we say. And if I find any indication of copyright theft, no. I don't think any of us were above passing on a pattern or whatever years ago. But as I've come to sort of know more and do more with designers myself, no, it doesn't align with my cross stitching now. It was about 10 or 12 years ago, I think, that copyright really came to a fore. And there was a lot of noise in the cross stitching community because patterns were being uploaded to a Chinese site where people could go and download the patterns for free, which everybody else was paying for. So yeah, I was, yeah, yeah, my stance is now very much one of, I won't align myself with the company knowingly if they are stealing artwork. The designer does not get paid. The artist does not get paid. But there we go, rant over. Nice to stitch this little patch. It's really lovely. Excuse me. Hi Nicola, says Kelly from Kelly's Quilts Plus. She says it will be on Flosstube number 16. She says it'll be very interesting when you get to stitching the other colours in the Lord of the Rings stained glass. It certainly will. I'm looking forward to that. My Lord of the Rings stained glass, of course, I'm colour completing all the black first, and then I can do it section by section and fill in stained glass. And at the minute, I am creating the outline of Aragorn. Okay, come on. And Flosstube 26 at Kashi leaves me a heart and a kitty cat. Thank you, Kashi. That was a stitch with me with Sailing Fairy. And then back to Flosstube, the most recent Flosstube 29. Like I said, I'll have to have a look at those numbers. Maria says, oh, that darn cheesecake. I have vertigo, she says, and it's horrible. I'm glad that he's doing better. I love to see all of your stitches. Thank you, Maria. Yeah, he's doing just fine. Just fine and dandy. Like I said, in Hannah's words, if you're swearing at the telly, he's just fine. Okay, let's just mark these off. That's a nice little chunk done. On my whip parade, Kashi says, beautiful whip parade, blown away by your progress. Thank you, Kashi. So yeah, my mid-year whip parade, it's done quite well actually. And then she comments on stitch with me with a unicorn and leaves me some smiley faces, so thank you very much. Definitely catching up there, aren't you, Kashi? My dear?
Yeah.
And then Patricia, Loyal Law on Lord of the Rings stained glass, also leaves me some hearts. Thank you, Patricia. Okay. Scroll to my next comment. So on Magpie, Tracy Del Camp says, great to stitch with you. Thank you very, very much. And on my short video, where she sleeps is home, Lynette says, oh, she's lovely. She certainly is. She sleeps is an absolute beauty. I'm loving her. Loving seeing her. So I've got to get Sunny to come in and put me up a proper picture hanging for her, because it needs something strong. But yeah, she sleeps is fab. And then on Flosstube 27, finish number 3, which was that one, Symphony. Kashi leaves me a hearty heart face emoji, so thank you, Kashi. Back to confetti. Right, just move it over because I want to catch this little patch here, I think. And Kelly from Kelly's Quilts Plus on my Sophie Kilpatrick Tower Bridge stitch with me says, thank you for the compliment about my Winter Queen. I'm working on filling in the Frogged Whisper area. Yes, we had mostly good weather this summer. I'm going camping from the 8th to the 11th, and the Carol Singers ornament is coming along. All good. Good to hear. So thank you for that, Kelly. I know you enjoy your camping trips. And yeah, Kelly did a Flosstube where she sat outside enjoying the beautiful weather, which I absolutely don't blame her. Okay. Again on Tower Bridge, Sharon Fennell says, enjoy your time in Liverpool. We certainly will. Don't worry if you don't get a lot of stitching done, it will give me a chance to catch you up. Oh, Sharon, I've got plenty done in advance. I've got stitches in the bank. I'm really sorry. And then Karen Ennis says, enjoy your vacation. And for the next 3 comments, all on different videos, from Anna Knowles on Flosstube number 30 chat, Sophie Kilpatrick, Tower Bridge, Lord of the Rings stained glass, and on Magpie. She leaves me heart and smiley face emojis on each of those. So thank you, Anna. And on my Sunday stream, Karen leaves me some hearts. Thank you, Karen. Oh, I needed that. One thing I have found since my dental work is that I'm always thirsty. Karen Ennis leaves me, like I said, on live stream, sending some heart emojis. Patricia on Tower Bridge also leaves me some heart emojis. And then again on the Sunday live stream. So thank you very, very much. It's always good to know when these videos are being viewed. We're almost down to our last couple of comments now. On Flosstube with Tower Bridge, so Patrick, Dolly Naden says, sorry, I had to redo my Flosstube subscriptions. My computer had a virus. So, yeah. So thank you for that, Dolly. But reminder, please just double check, make sure that you are still subscribed. Dolly had an issue, obviously, with her computer and a virus, but YouTube does randomly remove subscribers. I've noticed it, not just myself, but some other content creators in different genres have had it too. So just double check, just make sure that you're still subscribed to me, and the notification drop down is set to all, and then you'll be notified every time I upload a video or I go live. I am hoping to get to 3,000 subscribers relatively soon, and then hope, all being well, I'm just going to move this so I can get these stitches in up here. Hopefully, all being well, I may be having a giveaway. If I have the capacity to do so. Well, let's say that. But yeah. Not there yet. 2,930 something. I say 30 something because some days it's 39, some days it's 38, some days it's 36. As I said, YouTube is definitely playing the unsubscribe game. Have you noticed that, love? Your subscriber numbers have been bouncing around.
A little bit.
Yeah. Petra, my lovely friend Petra on Flosstube 29 leaves me a heart. And our beautiful Carla is the last comment today on my Lord of the Rings stained glass. Also leaves me some heart face emojis. Thank you, Carla. Carla, of course, is down there in Portugal, and when sometimes she joins me on the live stream, she's watching from the train on her way home from work. That's dedication. Thank you, Carla. The live streams are fun. Some days, you know, we really do laugh a lot on them. Some days we talk about nostalgia. Some days we talk about world events. You know, we talk about all sorts on the streams, but they are just a really, really nice, nice thing. But yeah, I mean, usually me and Andy and all the girls end up with a bit of banter and a bit of back and forth, which can be quite fun. But yeah, it's the streams are good. I enjoy them. Of course, I do know that I'm not the only person out there that's doing live streams on YouTube. I've been doing my 2 a week now regularly for over a year. I would say around a yearish. And, you know, for me, they are, you know, as normal as, well, they're just a normal part of my week now. Still got about another 15 minutes of stitchy time. But that is all of my comments. So thank you very, very much to everybody who has left a comment. Please help me out by putting a like on this video if you've enjoyed it today. And add a comment, even if it's just a hi. So yeah. Been quite nice to work on this today, even though there has been some confetti. I'll be trying to do some blocky stitching over the next few days, so a bit of confetti is not going to bother me. I've run out of things to say. Some people might say that's a good thing. Yeah, okay. Try and get another nice little patch of stitches in. Number 7. Coming along quite well, this one. Slow and steady progress on all of them, really. But as I said, next year I definitely want to change it up, dependent on how many stitches in a total piece. Try and get my bigger pieces progressing a bit more with 2,000 stitches per rotation, and my medium ones with 1,500. And my small ones stick at 1,000, but I think as well, because of that, my rotation is going to have a little mix up. I've got 3 projects that are over 500,000 stitches at the moment, so all of those, to get to 1% on my night cafe is 10,000 stitches. To get to 1% on this piece, for example, is 700. So, ouch. So, as you can tell, with every 1,000 stitches that I do on this one, I am putting in 1.3%. For 1,000 stitches on Night Cafe, I'm putting in 0.1%. It's not a lot. So I don't I'm not going to redress the balance fully, because if I was saying I was doing 1% every time I pulled a piece out, I'd be working a week on Night Cafe, and then I'd do 3 or 4 projects in a week if I was doing a Geckorouge one, so, but yeah, I think by adjusting the amount of stitches, hopefully it's going to have an impact. I mean, putting Night Cafe on my focus for extra stitches after She Sleeps was done, wow, I mean, that made a huge difference from the beginning of the year. I don't think I'll be doing that again next year. I think I'll just carry on doing 2 finishes, 1 start. From the sort of the bottom end kind of thing. Oops. But I'm definitely on target for my 500,000 this year. I can't see me increasing that next year, but I think if 500,000 is doable, then that's what I'll be doing. According to Stitch Pal, given the stitches I have in the bank at the moment, I will achieve 500,000 stitches by the 17th of December. So a full 2 weeks earlier than the end of the year. And in another 2 weeks I can get 15,000 stitches done. So, but I will just still aim for the 500,000. Anything that surpasses that, great. But I mean, I know that lots of people stitch different rates and stuff. I am lucky. I have a lot of stitchy time, and being a 2-handed stitcher, I can stitch fairly fast too. So progress for me is always ongoing. So we are not far away from the end of this one. So I am going to start with my reminders. 3 videos will be coming up on your screen in a moment. If you haven't seen those, please do go take a few minutes to have a look. I didn't do a live stream this week, but I did put out an unboxing in its place. That should be featured on the end card. I release my Flosstube on Tuesdays, Stitch With Me's Thursdays and Saturdays. I do a live stream at 7:30 PM UK time on Wednesdays and Sundays. So if you can join me, it will be much appreciated. Please leave a like, please leave a comment. Even an emoji is absolutely fine. It all helps with channel visibility. And that is very important to me at the moment. My channel is monetized, so you will have seen adverts during this video. And I do always ask, if you can, if they are bearable, please do try and let the adverts run. I get it that sometimes YouTube does a silly thing and puts an advert in that's about half an hour long. Certainly don't expect you to watch those, just skip them. But if you can see your way to allowing a set or 2 of adverts to run during any of my videos, that is much appreciated too. So I will be having a final tot up in a moment of how many stitches I've done. And we'll see where we are. And then what I'm trying to do with all of my pieces is this blocky stitching. I'll do that off camera. But yeah, because I always think, figured that people might be bored just watching me stitch a big block of the same colour. There we go. Right, so let's have a tot up. Oh, 309 stitches, so I did make 300, which is good. Pleased about that. Let me just zoom out. So yeah, looking fab. So a bit more in there on the yoke. But yeah. So thank you guys very much indeed for watching. It's really nice to have your company. Do take care, happy stitching, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye for now.